Hi guys, it's still December 22nd, 2019. I want to thank my subscriber for sending along this article, Little Understood Unregulated Particles Pollute Neighborhoods Under SeaTac Flight Paths. University of Washington did a study and found ultrafine particles. Ultrafine? These researchers at the University of Washington don't know about nanotechnology and nanoparticulates, the aerosol spraying, that they are, doing and have been doing for a very, very long time, increasing amounts of those ultrafine particles, which are less than 100 nanometers in diameter, 1/1000th the width of a human hair. That's what they're spraying in our atmosphere. ACA, air that we breathe. So, notice the hazy sky, the black haze down here, the very fine, long white lines that people still say are contrails. Well, this man, Kent Polisari's persistent cough started 8 years after he moved half a mile away from the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. When I'd go to talk to the doctors, they'd ask, "Are you sure you don't smoke?" That's an interesting question. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't? Well, unless I have several personalities going, where one personality takes over the personality that, like, is right here in your doctor's office. That personality lights up, and the personality that's in your doctor's office doesn't know that that personality is lighting up. Well, all right, maybe I do. Do you see how insane we are? Are you sure you don't smoke? No, I don't. I'm not around smokers. They were confused about why I was getting sick. Doctors can't diagnose anymore. How many of you have gone to the doctor and they have no clue what's going on? They may hand you medications and antibiotics, but they don't know what's going on. Isn't it amazing? Here we are, the ordinary, civilians, and we have more knowledge and more intelligence than the researchers and scientists and experts who have no clue what's going on. And we seem to. Interesting world we're living in. So, this new study from the University of Washington, funded by the state of Washington, may bear some clues to the cause of his illness. But it makes him worried about his two young children, their health. University of Washington researchers found plane emissions are polluting communities near the airport with a particularly worrisome type of ultrafine particle, nanoparticulates, that they've been spraying for a long, long, long time. Nanoparticulates, that's why now we see black and white clouds sitting next to one another, because the black carbon dust, but this white and the white haze has an awful lot of nanoparticulates like aluminum and barium and strontium and a whole lot. But the experts and scientists and researchers don't have a clue, I guess. Ultrafine particles, yes, they are very, very small. You don't see them. They land upon you. You breathe them in. They go into your eyes. They go into your nostrils. They go into your mouth. They go on your skin. Not only you, but your children. Okay? So, they're not regulated, and they won't be, because geoengineering is unregulated. Okay. Yes, they're found in both vehicle and plane emissions, but these are distinctly different. These are from planes, jet emissions, and they can penetrate your central nervous system when inhaled. Communities under flight paths, SeaTac, Des Moines, Highline, Angle Lake, Beacon Hill, Rainier Valley are exposed to those ultrafines. You're exposed to ultrafines when planes take off and land. So this study adds to a growing international body of research on the particles, including some preliminary reports showing correlations between exposure to ultrafines and higher incidences of some kinds of cancer, as well as lung diseases that cause trouble breathing and deep throaty coughs. How many of you have coughs that you can't get rid of? But these also have negative effects on the brain and the nervous and respiratory system. They emphasize your environmental department in Washington emphasized that more research is necessary to fully understand the health impacts. Don't you think? It's far too early to say whether Pallisari's cough is related to the ultrafines. We don't have any answers. We don't have any answers. Well, yeah, I would say it's definitely related. I'm not a doctor, but hell, I'll go for it. I think it's related. So there's a lot of articles about this. Here's another one. I'll link below to all of them, but this, I'm just going to pick out the pieces that are a little bit different in the articles that I pulled up. With these ultrafines, they're so tiny that you won't see them in the air and you'll inhale them and you won't smell them either. They do get into your body and they can spread through a number of different places and cause toxicological effects. Good. Good. Well, let's see. This one too. And yes, the study didn't consider the health effects of exposure. Other studies have linked exposure to ultrafine particles to breast cancer, heart disease, prostate cancer, and a variety of lung conditions. I find it interesting that they took air samples, but never checked out what was in the air. None. I will link below to the actual studies, the PDFs, if they will show their face on my computer. Okie dokie. Well, I've waited a few minutes. They're not coming up. Oh, here. Oh, no, this is another PDF that I pulled up. Nanotechnology geoengineering. Nanoparticles used in geoengineering. Nanoparticles. But University of Washington, those researchers, they'd know nothing about nanotechnology, so they call them UltraFines. Man. All right. Here. Mobile observations of ultrafine particles. The Move Up Study Report. And I went through the report, and they don't identify. They mention black carbon, but they don't identify what was found in the air. Do you think they didn't check out what was in the air? Okay, we found these particles. We don't know what they are. but they're ultra fine. Well, black carbon, and they say that the planes are emitting less black carbon than cars and trucks. Well, the cars and trucks are emitting a particle that's bigger than the ultrafines. And I'm wondering, because I've read, nanotechnology changes, the molecular construction of material, and I'm wondering if the change of size would change the measurement. I don't know, just thinking out loud. But they did say they found the planes emitting less black carbon than the cars and trucks, which means that they probably checked out what those ultrafines were. And maybe they left it out of the results, finding the aluminum and barium and strontium. Yeah, black carbon, very real. Here's some pictures. That was a dump of a black carbon cloud with a very interesting, what looks like an electrified thing that came out of the cloud, and then it moved along and went into this cloud. Yeah, clouds are talking. Now, don't you think that this would be alarming to people? It was alarming to me. Well, yeah, as you can see, it's coming down and you're breathing in all of these nanoparticulates. And it's not just black carbon dust. But this is a good example of all of the black carbon. Black carbon clouds. Clouds have payloads in them. Hit them with frequencies and they release black carbon. Ionized. And this was back in 2012, Massachusetts. So yeah, whole lot of black carbon. Wow. Nothing wrong here. Hey, beautiful sky. I'd send these pictures off. My email contact list. Well, didn't hear from anybody. Those I did hear from would say, we're so lucky to be living in the Berkshires, to have such beautiful sunsets. I would sit with friends. I would be like, okay, looking at the sky, looking at them, looking at the sky, looking at them. Then I'd say, I'm sorry. Do you notice our sky? Like, they'd look at it and look right back at me. One literally ignored my question. And one said it was an illusion. And people wonder why I named my first and second channel Kafka Winston World. Winston, the main character in 1984. So yes, this has been going on for a very, very long time. Black carbon. And if you read William Gray's paper on how black carbon dust can increase atmospheric heat, you will see that he talks about horizontal clouds of black carbon. And yeah, so, and it scatters about. Okay, so what's this goldish color and what's all of the pink, that we've been seeing? I'm not going to play any of these, but this is our sky here. We've got pink. Wow, pink, hot pink. All these different colors all the time now. All the time. Our atmosphere is completely and utterly saturated. As you can see, this is on a day when no chemtrailing at all, nothing in the sky, and around sunset, having to do with the sun's radiation, this is our sky now. Pretty much a 360 pink horizon. Okay. Well, that means that they've really saturated our atmosphere. And these nanoparticulates that we're all breathing is very dangerous to all life. Yeah. And no one is alarmed by what they're seeing. So you got the pink, you got the goldish yellow, you got black, you've got all different, you've got purple, you've got, well, that just reflects the saturation of these ultrafines, the barium, you know, and the barium, the lithium, the strontium, aluminum. So that we can't get through to people when the sky looks like this, okay, well, that means that we're all going to just be affected. So this is the study. This is another paper, Nanotechnology and Geoengineering. And do want to remind everybody that they did come out and announce. Wow, I'm really having difficulty with my computer lately. Oh. They did come out and announce atmospheric geoengineering experiments. Harvard scientists, they're moving ahead, which is really, oh boy, this Kafkaesque, bizarre world. They've been geoengineering for such a long time. I showed you 2011, 2012 pictures of Massachusetts. They were geoengineering before that. But they come out in, when, 2017. Oh, we're going to do experiments now. David Keith, talk about a psychopath. Yeah, pair of Harvard climate scientists preparing small-scale atmospheric experiments. Well, what are they using? They're going to spray a fine mist of materials such as sulfur dioxide, alumina, calcium carbonate into the stratosphere. That's not all they're spraying. So these materials are very, very small, ultra-fine. How is it that the researchers don't know? Are they that clueless? Are they? Could they be that ignorant? Perhaps. Could they never look up in their sky? See what's going on? Okay. Sulfur dioxide, which is SO2. So, additional priorities from the advisory meeting. I highlighted this because I just thought, you know, why don't you just get in touch with Mike Decker in Montana? He's close to you guys in Washington. Obtain flight data and relate flight traffic to ultrafine PM measurements. My God. Mike Decker has been doing that. But incorporate SO2 measurements into our ultrafine measurements. SO2. So they're not telling you everything that they have found. Certainly not in the mainstream articles. But SO2 is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. And I'll leave you with this. This was back May 2013. It is in Science magazine. Science. It's a letter to the editor. Geoengineering, perilous particles. The Policy Forum. End the deadlock on governance of geoengineering research. And that's David Keith, who is one of the researchers. They advance proposals for governmental regulation of geoengineering, the use of technologies to alter the climate in an attempt to mitigate the impacts of global warming. This strategy includes injecting metallic nanoparticles, aluminum oxide, into the upper atmosphere to scatter incoming sunlight back to space. The authors suggest a moratorium on large-scale geoengineering, but argue in favor of small-scale field research. They're already doing large-scale geoengineering. My God, do you really just have to lie to somebody and they go, oh, okay, when everything is right in their face? Okay, I don't have a black sweatshirt on. It's actually red. Oh, okay. All right. The notion of deliberate release of vast amounts of metallic nanoparticles into the atmosphere seems completely unsound in light of the known toxic potential of such materials. For instance, metal oxide nanoparticles trigger pulmonary inflammation. In addition, concerns have been raised about the consequences of engineered nanoparticles entering the environment, especially those that are non-degradable and persistent. In a recent study, aluminum nanoparticles were found to be toxic for freshwater algae. Okay, releasing nanoparticles into the sky to reduce global warming may only add insult to injury. And it'd be interesting to do a search on these names. Division of Molecular Toxicology, Institute of Environmental Medicine. Karolinska Institute, Stockholm, Sweden. Yes, perilous particles. And your UW researchers, geez, we don't have a clue. All right. I'm sorry about your persistent cough, but I do have answers for you. Your children's health is absolutely being affected. All links are below.